It was interesting to listen to your presentations, gentlemen and lady, because it almost sounded to me, I'd be interested in your thoughts on this, it almost sounded to me as though if you're a small organization offering tours and activities, and that seems to be where we're talking today with the four of you, you can't actually survive if you try to do business on your own. You've got to be part of a bigger technology-powered network. Does that sound a reasonable approach? Yes? Grab a microphone so someone say something. Well, Mike, you start, because actually that wasn't actually your topic. You actually told us something quite useful today. So not that others didn't, but...
Yeah, well, sorry, no, it's quite interesting, because I still own Bonza Bike Tours, my bike tour company.
And that was actually the same thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we absolutely, I mean, 10 years ago, we built our own booking system. We actually built our own, and we saw the big costs of it. We saved a little because of my background. I was able to design stuff myself, so we saved a bit on that. But we didn't have the powerful apps that are out there today, and the systems like Trekksoft and Bokun, they just didn't exist 10 years ago, so we didn't have that available. Now those are out there, and they're so powerful, they can drive so much business. And just this beautiful model, I mean, probably about 8 years ago, we did a surf and turf, where we did a bicycle tour and a Let's Go Surfing product, and we put those together. We did that all manually, and it was a beating. We made some good sales, but the technology wasn't there. And to see that and the opportunities that are available now with great ease is, yeah, you can survive, but can you thrive? You're not going to thrive at all.
Okay, so Mike, you showed us some great tools that we can be using, and that was very nice. Thank you for that. Stefano, if you just take a microphone for a minute, GTA is used to having mega large systems. You know, I've done some work for GTA in the past. I know you showed us a number of transactions that you put through your systems each day, huge, and yet you took the decision not to build. You almost took Lucy's advice to actually buy in technology. Was that a difficult cultural decision for GTA to make?
It was, as a matter of fact, it's a very good question, because it was definitely a change in the mindset. Okay, because internally we have a big IT department with great people, actually very talented people. But the thing is, I mean, going back also to your point, Mike, it doesn't really matter if you're big or if you're small. There are some providers that are very, very specific, and the tourism activity space, it's a bit of a slippery ground in a sense, right? Because lately in the industry has just kind of discovered, hey, I mean, there is like 250 billion euros a year around tourism activities, but it's so fragmented that there is not just one solution for it. So as big as GTA can be, because normally, I show we sold 25,000 bookings, all in all, hotels and tourism activities together. For the tourism activities, we actually sell 3,500 bookings a day. So it's pretty big, right?
Yes.
But it's still irrelevant compared to how big the market is. So the need for actually specific technology, they change, again, not just the day-to-day, but it changed completely the mindset. It's absolutely needed. It doesn't matter if you're big or small.
Okay. So Hjalti, before GTA approached you, you mentioned that Bokun, the idea was to aggregate Icelandic tours and activities. Am I right there? Did you have ambitions for global domination beyond that, or were you going to be happy with Iceland?
How can I answer that without looking silly?
Well, there's no way.
Yeah, I'll answer that in Iceland. Well, no, I mean, of course, we did have ambitions for that, but we have also been learning like everybody. We don't know what the future brings, but what we do know is that distribution and platforms and software is developing at immense speed. When we were starting in 2014, online bookings constituted or accounted for 22% of total bookings. 22%. It's nothing, So if you're a small business, you can get away with, not having a system. Today, these bookings are at a minimum 70% online. So if you do not have a system, you simply will not thrive. You will not make it. It doesn't matter if you're big or small in that regards. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that sort of answers that.
Okay, fine, thank you. Lucy, at Trekksoft, of course, you've done the same thing. You've built technology which is allowing you to create a marketplace as well. And you've seen that your technology users are now boosting their business and doing more business generally?
Yeah.
Or are they just transferring business from where they did it before onto your system?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Generally, we say that bookings go up by about 40%, although that's generally if they're not accepting any online bookings to start with, so it's pretty difficult. But yeah, there's definitely a huge impact that we generally see. I think it's a really smart move to really balance your distribution and go further online, but really consolidate your offline as well. So with a booking solution, you can sell easier through agents, you can do more point of sale bookings. So I think it's a really smart move. It's not just about accepting bookings through your website, I think. It's about just the bigger picture and really making sure that you are there at each point where the consumer is thinking of booking.
So Lucy, do your Trekksoft users also cross-sell each other's tours and activities? They do?
Yes, so we have a partner network, so any two Trekksoft users can cross-sell. Okay. And increasingly we're working with tourism boards like Fjord Norway, Visit Bologna, Florence, to allow them to act as marketplaces and then resell their local suppliers' tours and activities. And I think it is in that collaboration, just maximizing the chance for something to be booked and just opening up a lot more channels.
Okay, fine. So who'd like to ask a question? Rachel, you put your hand up. You're going to ask something. Here, have a microphone. Here we go.
Yeah, I was listening with interest to all the great suggestions that we've heard from all four of you around how we can increase efficiencies in inventory management, distribution, and facilitating bookings. And I suppose my question was more looking towards the future. Do you think there are still areas that our industry hasn't really made inroads in terms of using technology to be more efficient and to make life better for the consumer? I mean, where should we be turning our attentions to in the future?
Oh, Rachel, define our industry, because we're very tours and activities on stage here.
Oh.
Is that what you mean? Or?
Well, I suppose initially, yes. I mean,
Okay.
I was thinking, in terms of just generally the travel industry. Do you think we typically suffer in areas that we should develop a little bit more to be more technologically advanced and efficient? Really?
Mike, would you like to take that first? Because you were quite trailblazing with TourConnect, weren't you, at the time?
Yeah, and that's something.
You mentioned the word innovation.
Yeah, that's something I think we're really passionate about is, let's take marketing materials, for example. How many people have actually sent emails with high-res images in there that bounce going to a partner that needs them for their website or their brochures? There's so many different things in each one of our businesses that are behind and are not quite there yet. But it's because we have big, complex businesses. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there. There's still people manually typing rates out there. And I'm talking of things that we focus on, but it's stuff I know well. But that's why I kind of challenge everybody to look internally and look at your operations and understand where those inefficiencies are. But yeah, there's manual rate entry, just communications, right? So let's say you've got a travel agent in Florida who books through an outbound in Seattle who buys through an inbounder in Australia. Well, if they need to make a minor adjustment to a booking, that travel agent is typically communicating right now through the outbound, through the inbound to, say, My Bike Tour. Really, do we need to bother 3 different organizations to be able to make an adjustment that doesn't affect the cost or the invoicing or anything like that? So that's not necessarily an easy problem to solve. It might be, might not be, but that's the type of inefficiency. We've touched 3 organizations when it was just a simple, can you put them on the afternoon tour? So it's things like that we'll get there, and we're learning and growing. And the beauty of it is these new technologies are coming out there, and everyone's touching so many of these different pieces. So the opportunity's there, but man, there's a lot of opportunities there, in our opinion.
Okay. Stefano, let me just ask you something, because GTA gained real competitive advantage in its early days when David Babai ran it by developing their own technology, which is way ahead of the time, just way ahead of the time. And subsequently, that technology became almost a millstone around the company's neck, but hopefully we've moved on a bit since then. But at the time, it was trailblazing. And I'm thinking some of the big OTAs and some of the tech plays, the names we know like Uber and Expedia and Priceline, who seem to gain great technological advantage by developing their own technology. Do you think that actually maybe using Bokun's technology, or maybe Tours Activities people going with Trekksoft or TourConnect, actually they're not going to get any competitive advantage and they're just going to be the same as their competitors? They're all competing for tourists.
It would depend, actually, because I mean the great work that we're doing with Bokun is that their system is up and running, right? But of course we need to fit it and customize it into GTA needs. So it's absolutely true what you said. I mean, back in the days, I mean, when GTA was far advanced, I mean, the technology piece is moving so fast. Okay, particularly now the things that Uber is doing. For us it would take probably be too long actually to start either from scratch or looking at what they're doing. But relying on technology like Bokun is not just getting what they have. It's never a plug and play, particularly because of the complexity of when you have a lot of transaction. So the trick is how can we take the best of a large distribution and a technology like Bokun, customize it, and see what we get out of it. Okay, a good example is, for instance, API connectivity. Everybody's talking about API connectivity, but for instance, for Tours and Activities, a lot of suppliers are still, understandably behind. Okay, I have people talk about API connectivity. They don't actually know what it is, but it's cool to say API.
So in Tours and Activities, then Hjalti, is it really just about technological catch-up, and really these people have been burying their heads in the sand and not realizing they need to do something, or am I being unkind?
No, not really. Maybe I bundled this question with a question from Rachel. Okay. Where are we headed? What we have seen is that the corporations working in tourism are just changing at immense speed. Maybe not the largest ones, but they are. I mean, if you take Expedia, if you take Priceline, they're spending over $1 billion each a year on technology. This is a lot of money, and they're doing great stuff. They're of course trying to work on increasing their bookings, but there are other things. How can you reduce cost? If we take examples from there was an inbound travel agency going into Iceland. Before they start using Bokun, and I don't mean to say this as a sales pitch, they had 7 people working on manual emails and phone calls. You eliminate that. So that's sort of the first thing you do. Okay. And these 7 people can start to work on increasing sales or whatever, something else. Then if you're asking, where is the development headed? I think you should, you will of course think about the revenue side, but also what are the people within the organizations doing? And are there 10 people working on accounting? Why is that? Almost anything can be automated in accounting, for example. So if you take, are there 3 people counting snowmobile cars on or our horses or whatever? If you just take the staff, is the staff doing? Almost everything that they're doing when they're doing something routinely, you can solve that with technology.
Okay, fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to conclude, but I'm not going to let the panel go off lightly. Maybe, Hjalti, you've got the microphone there, and I'll come down. Let me ask you all the same question. What's the 1 or 2 things that a travel company can do to find easy solutions to day-to-day inefficiencies? And you're not allowed to say, buy my technology. That's
Yeah. Will you say buy my technology?
I can probably do that, yeah.
Okay. So I'll skip that. No, I think, what you want to do is of course, tourism is just like any other business. You want to increase your sales, you want to decrease your cost. How do you do that? You can use platforms to do that, like Mike was going through, and then you use your common sense and marketing and sales. There are no secrets in this. You just have to go day by day and reach each day's challenges.
Thank you. Stefano?
GTA is a sort of a different perspective because, of course, we are many people. So what we normally look at is priority, right? So you look at, okay, what are your main pain points? And you do like a sort of a really, even if basic ROI exercise. So if I'm able to fix this process by, this technology, how much, not just the cost saving, how much more effective can I be? And normally that's exactly how we do. And that's how we came about, not just a solution with Bokun, but many other solutions also technology-wise.
Good, thank you. Lucy, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'd echo things from both of you. I think the best thing you can do is think about your most important focus area, just where you're getting results, where you think you should be getting most results, and just really drill down there. Find the simplest way to go about doing it, maybe with technology, maybe offline, and just really go strong on that. Don't try and do too many things at once. If you're trying to do a million things, like improve your social media, get bloggers to work with you to do X, Y, and Z, you're just going to end up in a bit of a mess. So
Thank you.
Keep it simple.
Thank you. And Mike?
The last thing I would say is care, and that should go through your entire organization. Just, pardon my French, give a shit that you're inefficient in the job that you do or that your team does, and that create that culture and look at every aspect of your business. Just care. That's all you need to do.
And you did talk about creating culture of innovation, didn't you, Mike? Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Hjalti, Stefano, Lucy, and Mike very much for a great session. Thank you.